Hey, just me prancing around the area a little bit. I'm near a hospital right now, walking around that area a little bit there. No need to worry those who are working there. I'm not doing anything wrong, let alone breaking into anything there. I figure I'd come on here and talk about a little something that I often been hearing for a while now. It's not that much I've been hearing about this particular subject, but it has been brought up a couple times occasionally. And the subject is a supposed Genesis reunion. Phil Collins, Mike Rutherford, and Tony Banks. Now, there's been talk a couple of times that possibly those guys will be reuniting for a reunion tour sometime either next year or the year afterwards, possibly 2022 or 2021 possibly. And I know I spoke about this before. I've mentioned this on a couple other programs, but I feel the need to express this again, especially to the kids out there today. Now, I'm an old school guy. I've been preferring a lot of old school material compared to the stuff that's out there. Even though there's a YouTube channel that's been streaming a lot of the current, dance stuff that's, I think it's pretty good there. A lot of the stuff there is not that bad. Just not when you repeat the same songs over and over and over. Like, too many times I heard this dance version of Radiohead's Creep. And I'm not big on Radiohead. I would prefer a dance cover of Alice Cooper's Poison over that any time, to be honest with you. But back to the Genesis reunion thing. If I had my way, I would have the original Genesis get back together and do a reunion tour. And I'm speaking of Collins, Rutherford, Banks, Steve Hackett, and Peter Gabriel, the original frontman, who left the group around 1975. Soon after that, Phil Collins took over as their new frontman. They got a fill-in drummer named Chester Thompson to do the drum works while Collins would do his vocal chores. Steve Hackett would later leave. And then they decided to remain a trio, Rutherford, Banks, and Genesis. Needless to say, with a couple other studio musicians and a couple of tour musicians on the side there, including Chester Thompson, who's been their drummer since Phil took over as frontman. Now keep in mind, Collins did still play the drums occasionally on some tracks there, possibly instrumentals. But kids today, they only know the top 40 Genesis. Songs like Land of Confusion, Invisible Touch, Tonight, 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 In Too Deep. Songs like Turn It On Again, or Ready or Not, or Misunderstanding. Those songs we have been hearing on the radio for God knows how long. People need to know about records like Foxtrot, their concept album, The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway. People need to see footage of the old Genesis when Peter Gabriel was one of the wildest frontmans in the prog rock era. He would come up with all these crazy-ass costumes. I showed Minnesota Vikings fan and Minnesota Super Bowl a couple weeks back a photo of Peter Gabriel with his long hair and a spot long line shaved, believe it or not. That was done as not just a gimmick, but also to stand out as a crowd and would help along with the costumes that he would wear on stage here. Make him look like an alien. And you got to give Gabriel his due. He was one of the most wildest frontmen during that time, next to Jim Dandy of Black Oak, Arkansas, and later, of course, Ozzy Osbourne from Black Sabbath, Iggy Pop, as well as David Lee Roth when he started out with Van Halen. Kids today need to know about that particular Genesis. What I'm saying to you kids out there, expand your minds a little bit. Don't be so damn closed-minded. I know I talked about this a couple times in the past, and I'm going to have to keep repeating it until all these idiots out there would do so. But then again, you got to look at this option here. Phil Collins is unable to play the drums. He's had this spinal condition for God knows how many years, to the point now where he's in a wheelchair most of the time. Whenever he does get around, it's he walks like this with the cane there. He came out of retirement a couple years back to do a tour where she had to sit down and sing there. You know, it's sad to see him like that, especially when he's unable to play the drums, because he was one hell of a drummer. You got to give him that due. So if Genesis does decide to reunite with Hackett and Gabriel, I guess they'll have to do both versions of that Genesis in their set list. I'm thinking. We'll have to wait and see. Something flying by me or what? Yeah, possibly. That's all I wanted to say for the time being about this particular subject. I doubt pretty much if it's really going to happen. But if it does happen, I stated my opinion on what reunion of Genesis I would like to prefer to see. Okay? That's all I'm going to say. I'm Dr. Earl. Thank you for watching this clip. Subscribe to my channel. Hit that like button. Leave your comments below. And by the way, the music that you're listening in the background is an album called Trinity by Lustmore. It came out last month this year. I plan on doing a review on it pretty soon if I could get it in my hands. I'm hoping possibly to get it on vinyl, like I did with the last studio album, Dark Matter, a couple years ago. Take care.